Hi everyone, I'm John from Fisheye, Magento Solutions partner based in the UK. I've been working with Magento just coming up to 5 years, starting out as a fairly naive junior developer up to my current role as technical director. And along with providing solutions for merchants, my main passions are helping developers work more efficiently and of course being part of the Magento community. So this talk is focused on how Magento developers can add new content to BlueFoot. So I'll be running through what BlueFoot is and what page builder blocks are, creating a module to add a new page builder block, and after that, some further ideas for customization and the future roadmap. Okay, so what is BlueFoot? Just have a quick show of hands. Who knows what BlueFoot is? Okay. And who's installed it or used it in a project? All right. Finally, who's extended it or developed with it? Okay, so that was kind of as I expected. Whilst quite a few people know what it is, not many people have probably extended it or worked with it, which is why I wanted to give this talk. Okay, so I've got a quick video. So BlueFoot's a content management system for Magento. It was originally built by Gene Commerce and was acquired by Magento in December last year. And as you can see, it allows drag and drop control of multiple content types to create highly customizable page layouts. And you can use it wherever you see a WYSIWYG area in the Magento admin. Content types range from simple text areas, images, banners and videos, through to like banner carousel, like sliders, product lists, and even embedded maps. Okay. Sorry, this slide takes a while to, there we go. So that's what I've just talked about, but now let's have a little bit of a further look. So here in the admin, you can see how content is managed. All sections of content are known as page builder blocks, and there are multiple types available, as you can see in the left-hand menu. The main stage area is made up of user-defined rows and columns, and an unlimited number of page builder blocks can be placed within these. Clicking on any of the blocks in the stage brings up a further panel with multiple tabs to manage the attributes for that block. Okay, so that's a very quick overview from a user's perspective, but now it's time to dive a little deeper and see what BlueFoot means for developers. Okay, so every Magento's developer's favorite topic, right? Bar patches, maybe? So BlueFoot uses EAV to store data for its blocks, so let's have a little bit of a further look. So first up, entities. In BlueFoot, an entity is simply any page builder block instance that's in the stage. An entity type is a BlueFoot specific addition. These relate to the types in the menu, such as image or video. I guess the best comparison for them with other EAV entities would be product types. A further BlueFoot specific addition is entity type groups, and essentially these are the menu groups, such as media or commerce, and every block's assigned to one of these. Okay, attributes. Like other Magento EAV attributes, attributes can be assigned to attribute sets. So in BlueFoot, each page builder block also has its own unique accompanying attribute set. For example, the driver block also has an attribute set of the same name to which it stores its attributes within. And again, like other Magento EAV types, attributes can also be assigned to groups within their sets. In BlueFoot, this relates to the tabs in the edit panel that you can see there. Okay, assume I don't really need to go into detail of what values are, so we'll move on to page builder blocks themselves. So aside from attributes, EAV data, page builder blocks are also associated to a block class and a template file. Additional data can also be set, such as the icon you see in the menu or the menu group it's in. Further to this, they can also have child blocks. So an example of this might be an individual banner within a slider or an item within an accordion. Okay, so that's our overview done. Let's create a block. So BlueFoot comes with plenty of great content types out of the box, but one sort of fairly obvious one missing, in my opinion, is the ability to add basic lists. So we're just going to create a really simple page builder block to add lists with a child block that allows adding multiple items to that list. We'll also add an example fisheye menu group to display our block under. Okay, so first off, just a quick overview of the attributes. For our list block, we'll add the following attributes. So we've got an options group there with a title and list style in it. We've got an items group with list items attribute, and this is an attribute we need to contain our child page builder list items block in. And lastly, we have the advanced an advanced group when we're putting an attribute called CSS classes. This is just a default BlueFoot attribute that allows you to add custom CSS classes and metrics to any block, so it's always handy to include. And then for our child list item, we've got text and icon under the options group, link URL and target under the link group, and again, we've got CSS classes. Okay, so that's our module outline. So let's have a look at the various components that we're going to need. Firstly, we need configuration files. I mean, you can't do Magento without XML, so we're going to need both standard Magento and BlueFoot-specific configuration files. We're going to need an install script and a data source to install our page builder block and attributes from. We'll obviously need block classes and templates to render content on the front end, and we could also add static assets, but just for our simple example, we don't need any. Okay, so as with any other Magento module, we need standard registration and configuration files, and obviously the main thing to note here is we should declare dependency on the BlueFoot module within composer.json and our module.xml file. So BlueFoot also comes with its own XML and XSD configuration files. This allows you to declare settings such as renderers, which is another name for block classes in BlueFoot terminology, and template files that can be used by page builder blocks. You can also add plugins, which are JavaScript widgets and structural elements, but we won't need either of these for our list builder. Okay, so this is our page builder XML configuration file. As you can see, we've got 2 renderers and 2 templates, one of each for our list and list item blocks. So these aren't assigning them to our page builder blocks we're about to create. All it does is register them for use by BlueFoot. So technically, any other page builder block could use them if you set it. And the key thing to note here is that the name attributes under the render and template elements, we'll use these during our data install to link our page builder blocks to the block classes and template files. Okay, so next up, our install script. So firstly, to create our new menu group, we need to inject these 2 content block group API classes you can see on the slide, or hope you can see on the slide. And also by injecting the BlueFoot installer file model, we can streamline the import process by installing data from a JSON data source rather than having to add everything manually as you normally would via the EAV setup class methods. Okay, so this is our install data class showing the required install method, and we've just got two further methods in here, one for our menu and one to install further data from. So this is our method to install our menu group. So we're using the BlueFoot service layer classes, and we need to provide the following data. We need to set a code, which is the unique identifier, which we'll use to link page builder blocks to this group. We need to set a name, which is the label used in the menu. We need to set an icon. So BlueFoot uses the Font Awesome icon library quite heavily. And this example here just adds a down arrow, which is the same as all the other menu groups. And finally, we can set a sort order. Okay, and to install our data, we literally just need this code. So we need to set the location of our JSON file, and then we need to pass it to BlueFoot's installer file model install method. And that's literally it. The rest of it's handled by the JSON data. So let's take a quick look at that. We'll obviously need this to create our blocks and attributes from. The best reference is obviously to look at the default JSON file that comes with BlueFoot. We'll cover some key points now. Okay, so first up, our page builder blocks need to be declared under the content blocks element. So here for our list block, we're adding the basic data such as an identifier and a name. We've got our renderer and template there, so they map to the values we put in the page builder XML earlier. We're setting an icon for the menu, and finally, we're assigning it to the fisheye group we've just created. This is kind of the same again, but for our list items child block, and the only thing to note here is we're setting show in page builder to 0, so it doesn't appear in the menu. Okay, so after we've set up the initial data, we need to declare which attributes, attribute groups, and the order of the attributes within each group for our page builder block, and this is just done by this simple mapping. Once we've done that, we actually need to create the custom attributes that we need for our page builder blocks. So most of these fields should probably look familiar if you've ever created an attribute in Magento before. To note, this is our list style select type attribute, and we're specifying a custom source model to provide our options from. There's also one really handy tip here, caught me out when I first started working with BlueFoot. So it's kind of natural to think it might be you want to create this as a system attribute, so users can't delete it, but if you do that, it adds it to every attribute set, and therefore every page builder block in BlueFoot. It's not a good idea. This is just a snippet of an example of our list items attribute. So we need this attribute to contain our child page builder blocks, and we've got custom backend and source models to allow this to be used for this purpose. And we're also saying at the bottom there that this attribute should only be used for the list item block and nothing else. Okay, finally, to wrap up our module, we need to create the block classes and template files in order to render the content we've just created. So our file locations need to match those that we put in the page builder XML file earlier. And it's also worth noting that block classes should always extend from the BlueFoot abstract block class, as it contains many useful methods. Admin templates use mustache.js with attribute handles being replaced by user set values, so it kind of gives a live update in the admin every time you make changes to your page builder block. So we don't really need any presentation logic in our block classes for this simple list builder example, but it is worth noting to get data for your page builder block within your block class or within your template file, you need to use the get entity method and then get data passing the relevant attribute code. And again, here's an example of our list item block, but again, not too much to see. So our list template file. So in here, we're checking for any existing child items, and then if we have some, we loop through and output their content via the HTML method. And then in our item template, we're outputting our LI elements, and it's worth noting that in both templates, we have these get CSS attributes and get style attributes methods. These are from the abstract block class, and these relate back to the CSS classes attribute we added earlier. So that any custom classes or metrics you set will be outputted via these. Finally, we've got our admin templates. So here's some examples of the mustache.js templating, and there's a markup there for looping through the child elements too. And this is our list item template. It's pretty simple. Okay, and that's it. That's all you need to create a simple new page builder block. So here's an example of our new list page builder block in the admin. We're setting a title and a list style, so I've chosen disk there. And here's our item block. I've put a link to DevDocs and saying to open in a new window. So you can see our admin preview there. It's rendering everything we set, the disks and the icons that we want. And finally, here's our new list on the front end. And that's it. So if you're interested in having a look at this example module, it's on our GitHub, and you can also download it via Composer. Okay, so we've just made a simple list builder, but it's just scratching the surface of the possibilities that BlueFoot can provide. So why not take the list builder a step further? You could create a navigation menu replacement, or maybe even a form builder. You can wrap up default Magento elements, maybe advanced search or recently viewed products. You can integrate social media feeds, or you can even get content from other systems, maybe posts from WordPress, for example. And it's not just limited to adding page builder blocks like I've just discussed. There's also the plugins, like JS widgets. We've not really had time to touch on these during the talk, but default widgets include a color picker, Google Maps, a video preview, and the ability to search products and categories. And if you really want to take things to another level, you could look at adding new structural elements. So at Fisheye, we've started to build our entire framework around this. We've created loads of new page builder block types, from banners, trust building areas, menu elements, and more. We've even created some JS widgets, the plugins. We've added the ability to search by CMS page. And then we've wrapped all that up to provide more dynamic links. So instead of the admin users setting a manual link, they can now pick from a product, category, or CMS page to link to dynamically. And this has kind of helped us, all of this has helped us to kind of standardize our front-end output. But if you're still not convinced, it's not just us at Fisheye that are fans of BlueFoot. During Mage Talk Live at Imagine, Philip Jackson noted that BlueFoot has given us a leg up to sell Magento 2 in a bigger and broader way. And Brian Lang also said that BlueFoot accelerates build times, and these quotes reflect our experience with using BlueFoot, not just in terms of building sites, but also pitching and selling new sites too. Okay, so what next for BlueFoot? In Magento 2.3, it'll be fully integrated as Magento Advanced CMS, very catchy name. And it's expected late 2017, though I suspect that may slip. But, so the majority of the functionality will be for Enterprise Edition only. However, there should hopefully be some basic functionality for Community Edition as well, which personally I'm hoping means the end of the tiny MCE editor that we all love. The core version will be fully integrated into the Magento admin UI and offers full drag and drop control of all areas, including structural rows and columns. And finally, there are also plans to integrate with Adobe Creative Cloud image editing features. And that's it. So thanks very much for listening. If you want to see a demo or find out more, just come and speak to me during one of the breaks or get in touch online. Cheers.